Before we begin, please note that the information in this presentation is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional financial, legal, or business advice. The success stories and results mentioned are not typical, and your results will depend on your industry, effort, experience, and market conditions. Always seek the advice of a qualified professional with any questions you may have regarding your specific situation. You spent months planning. You found the perfect product, built a beautiful website, and maybe even ran a few ads. You hit the launch button, held your breath, and heard nothing. Just the soul-crushing silence of zero sales notifications. If that sounds painfully familiar, you're not alone. The brutal truth is that the average e-commerce conversion rate hovers around a dismal 2%. That means for every 100 people who visit a typical online store, a staggering 98 of them leave without buying a single thing. It's not a business, it's a leaky bucket. And today we're going to plug those leaks for good. This isn't just another tutorial on how to pick a Shopify theme. This is a masterclass in building a high-converting e-commerce machine specifically designed to dominate the American market. Over this series, I'm going to hand you the exact blueprint that took my own stores from 0 to 7 figures, and the same one I've used to help countless others do the same. We are going to transform your website from a simple online catalog into a persuasive, automated sales engine that turns skeptical browsers into loyal repeat customers. I know what it's like to be on the other side. My first online store was a complete disaster. I made every mistake in the book. I sold a generic product to a generic audience with a generic website. I burned through thousands of dollars in savings, and all I had to show for it was a garage full of inventory I couldn't sell and a crippling sense of failure. But that failure became my greatest teacher. It forced me to stop guessing and start engineering. I became obsessed with the psychology of the American online shopper. What makes them trust a brand? What triggers them to click add to cart? What makes them pull out their credit card without hesitation? What I discovered is that a high-converting website isn't built on flashy design or clever gimmicks. It's built on a foundation of 3 core pillars. Get these 3 things right and you create an unstoppable force. Get any one of them wrong, and you're destined to struggle. I call it the American e-commerce blueprint, and the first pillar, the absolute bedrock of your entire business, is something that 99% of new store owners get catastrophically wrong: audience clarity. You've probably heard you need to know your customer. That's terrible advice. It's too vague. It's like saying to be a chef, you need to know food. It's useless. You don't need to know your customer. You need to be so deeply, intimately familiar with one single, ideal person that you understand their secret fears and desires better than they do themselves. We're not building a customer profile, we're building a customer avatar. Most people start with a product. They find something they think is cool, and then they try to figure out who to sell it to. This is completely backward. This is like building a key, and then running around trying to find a lock that it fits. It's a recipe for failure. A winning e-commerce brand starts with a person. A very, very specific person. Let me show you the difference. A failing store says, we sell high-quality yoga mats to women who do yoga. It's broad, it's boring, and it speaks to no one. It forces you to compete with Target, Walmart, and Amazon on price. A battle you will always lose. A winning store says, we sell eco-friendly, extra-thick cork yoga mats for Sarah. A 32-year-old tech professional in Denver who values sustainability, suffers from knee pain during her vinyasa flow, and spends her weekends hiking with her golden retriever. She listens to the My Favorite Murder podcast, shops at Trader Joe's, and her biggest frustration is that most eco-friendly products are secretly greenwashed plastic. Do you feel the difference? It's night and day. Sarah isn't just a demographic. She's a real person. And because we know her so well, every single decision we make about our business becomes 10 times easier and 100 times more effective. What kind of photos should we use on our website? Photos of women who look like Sarah practicing yoga in a setting that looks like the mountains around Denver. What should our brand voice sound like in our emails and product descriptions? It should sound like a knowledgeable, trusted friend talking to Sarah. Maybe a little witty, definitely eco-conscious, and empathetic to her knee pain. What influencers should we partner with? Not the mega celebrities, but the micro-influencers in the Denver yoga and hiking scene that Sarah already follows and trusts. When you try to sell to everyone, you connect with no one. Your marketing messages are watered down, your branding is generic, and your website feels like a sterile, faceless corporation. But when you sell to one person, to your perfect avatar, something magical happens. Your message becomes a dog whistle that cuts through the noise of the internet and speaks directly to the heart of thousands of other people who are exactly like her. They land on your site and they feel seen. They feel understood. They think, wow, this brand gets me. And that feeling, that deep sense of connection and understanding, is the most powerful conversion tool on the planet. It's what builds trust, creates desire, and obliterates price objections. So how do you build this avatar? You become a detective. You need to go beyond simple demographics like age and location and dig into the psychographics, the beliefs, values, frustrations, and aspirations of your ideal customer. I want you to grab a notebook, and before you watch the next part of this series, I want you to answer these 5 questions about your avatar. Be ridiculously specific. Give them a name. Find a stock photo of what they look like. Make them real. Question 1. What are their biggest pain points and frustrations related to the products you sell? Don't just say, they want a quality product. Go deeper. For our yoga mat example, it's knee pain, it's the guilt of buying plastic, it's the frustration of a slippery mat. What is the thorn in their side that you can remove? Question 2. What are their secret aspirations and desires? What is the transformation they are truly seeking? Nobody buys a drill because they want a drill. They buy a drill because they want a hole. And they want a hole because they want to hang a picture of their family. Sarah doesn't just want a yoga mat. She wants a moment of peace in her hectic day. She wants to feel connected to the earth. She wants to feel proud of the products she owns. Question 3. What does their media diet look like? What books do they read? What podcasts do they listen to? What YouTube channels do they watch? Who do they follow on Instagram? This isn't just for ad targeting. It's to understand the language they speak and the culture they live in. Question 4. What is their hesitation? What are the specific objections or doubts they would have before buying your product? Is it the price? Do they doubt it will work? Are they skeptical of online brands? If you know their objections in advance, you can address them head-on in your website copy and marketing. And finally, question 5. Where do they hang out, online and offline? Are they in specific Facebook groups? Subreddits? Are they members of a local hiking club? This tells you exactly where to find them. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to build this avatar. Do not write another line of code, do not design another graphic until you know exactly who you are building it for. This single exercise will have a bigger impact on your conversion rate than any design trend or marketing hack. It is the master key that unlocks everything else. Once you have this avatar crystal clear in your mind, the next step is to craft a message so perfectly tailored to them that they feel like you're reading their mind. And that's exactly what we're going to do in the next part. We're going to take your avatar and use them to forge the second pillar of the blueprint, a bulletproof brand story and an irresistible value proposition. This is where we turn your store from a commodity into a must-have brand. Get this right and you won't have to chase customers anymore. They'll start chasing you. Think about the last time you bought something from a new online brand. Why did you choose them? Was it because their product had 10% more of a certain ingredient? Or was it because you felt something? A connection? A sense of trust? Most e-commerce stores fail because they operate like vending machines. They list products, features, and prices. They're cold, transactional, and forgettable. They're a commodity. But great brands, the ones that build a loyal tribe, they operate like a campfire. They draw you in with the warmth of a story. This is the fundamental shift you need to make. You're not selling a product. You're selling a transformation. You're not listing features. You're telling a story. And at the heart of that story is a single powerful question. Why? Why does your brand exist? Beyond making money, what is your purpose? Most founders start with what they do. We sell organic skincare. Then they explain how they do it. We use cold-pressed ingredients. But they completely forget to tell us why. The why is your origin story. It's the emotional core of your entire brand. People don't logically decide to be loyal to a company. They emotionally connect to its purpose. So let's build one. Imagine we're starting a skincare brand for the US market. We'll call it Everglow. The commodity approach would be, Everglow sells all-natural face serums. Boring. Forgettable. Now let's inject a why. Let's create an origin story. Maybe the founder, let's call her Sarah, spent her 20s struggling with sensitive skin. She tried dozens of expensive products packed with chemicals she couldn't pronounce. They promised miracles but left her skin red and irritated. She felt frustrated and defeated, thinking that clear, calm skin was just not for her. One summer, visiting her grandmother, She noticed how radiant her grandmother's skin was at 75. Her secret? Simple, natural remedies from her own garden: rosehip, chamomile, lavender. A light bulb went off for Sarah. What if skincare didn't have to be so complicated and harsh? What if the best solutions were the ones nature already provided? She spent the next 2 years researching, formulating, and testing in her own kitchen, dedicated to creating a simple, powerful, plant-based routine that actually worked for sensitive skin. She wasn't just creating a product. She was creating the solution she wished she had a decade ago. That's Everglow. See the difference? We haven't even talked about the product's features yet, but you already feel something for this brand. You understand its soul. It stands for something. Simplicity over complexity, nature over chemicals, and empowerment for people who feel left behind by the mainstream beauty industry. Your origin story doesn't need to be a dramatic Hollywood epic. Just needs to be authentic. It's the human element that turns a faceless website into a brand with a heartbeat. Now, every great story needs a villain. For your brand, the villain isn't a person. It's an idea, a frustration, a problem you exist to solve. For Everglow, the villain is the overwhelming, chemical-laden skincare industry that preys on insecurity. The villain is the belief that you need a 12-step routine to have beautiful skin. By defining this enemy, you position your brand as the hero, the guide who will lead your customer to victory. You're not just selling a serum, you're leading a rebellion against complicated beauty. This creates an us versus them dynamic that builds an incredibly strong community. Your customers aren't just buying a product, they're joining a movement. So, you have your emotional core, the story. Now we need to pair it with a crystal clear, logical promise. This is your value proposition. It's the single most important piece of copy on your entire website. It's the headline on your homepage that has about 3 seconds to convince a visitor to stay or leave. It must answer the question, what's in it for me? Quickly and powerfully. Forget clever taglines. A high-converting value proposition is a statement of tangible value. I use a simple formula that you can steal. It goes like this. We help specific audience achieve desired outcome by providing your unique solution. Let's break it down for Everglow. First, who is our specific audience? It's not everyone. If you're selling to everyone, you're selling to no one. We need to be specific. Women in the US is too broad. Women in the US with sensitive skin is better. Busy American women aged 25 to 45 with sensitive skin who are overwhelmed by the beauty industry. Now that's a laser-targeted audience. Second, what is their desired outcome? They don't want a serum. They want what the serum gives them. They want effortlessly radiant skin, or the confidence to go makeup-free. The outcome is the feeling, the transformation. Third, what is our unique solution? This is your how. How are you different? For Everglow, it's not just natural ingredients. It's a simple 3-step system made from ethically sourced, plant-based ingredients. Now let's put it all together. Everglow helps busy American women with sensitive skin achieve effortlessly radiant skin with our simple 3-step, plant-based skincare system. Boom! In one sentence, a potential customer knows exactly who this is for, what transformation it offers, and how it delivers that transformation. This statement becomes your North Star. It's the headline on your homepage. It's the first line of your bio on social media. It's the core message in your ads. It's the promise that your brand story backs up. To make this even more powerful, you need to master the so what test. For every feature you list on your site, I want you to aggressively ask yourself, so what? Our serum contains hyaluronic acid. So what? It deeply hydrates the skin. So what? It plumps up fine lines and makes your skin look smoother. So what? So you can look refreshed and youthful, feeling more confident in your appearance. That last part is the benefit you sell. Nobody buys hyaluronic acid. They buy the feeling of confidence that comes from looking in the mirror and loving what they see. You have to translate every feature into a tangible, emotional benefit for your customer. Your brand story and value proposition can't just live on your About Us page, which, by the way, is one of the most visited pages on any new e-commerce site. This message must be woven into the very fabric of your website. Your homepage headline should be your value proposition, front and center. Your product description should start with the story and the benefit before they ever list the ingredients. Instead of 1-ounce bottle with vitamin C, try your secret weapon for that lit from within glow. This potent vitamin C serum fights dullness and fatigue, so you can look as vibrant as you feel. Your welcome email to new subscribers shouldn't just offer a discount. It should tell your origin story and welcome them into the community. Look at the brands in the US that do this masterfully. Allbirds doesn't just sell shoes. They sell sustainability and comfort. A story about fighting the waste of the fashion industry. Bombas doesn't just sell socks. They sell a mission to help the homeless. A story of community and giving back. When you buy from them, you're not just making a purchase. You're casting a vote for the kind of world you want to live in. That is the power of what we're building here. So here's your task. Before you even think about website design, colors, or logos, I want you to open a blank document. First, write your origin story. Be honest. Be vulnerable. What was the frustration or passion that led you to create this product? What is your why? Second, write out your value proposition using the formula. We help specific audience achieve desired outcome by providing your unique solution. Be ruthless about defining your audience and the true outcome you provide. Get this foundation right, and everything else we build on top of it will be 100 times more powerful. You'll have a brand with a soul. And in the crowded American e-commerce market, a brand with a soul is a brand that wins. Now that you've defined your story and your promise, who exactly are you telling it to? Who is that one perfect customer you're trying to reach? In the next part, we're going to get radically specific. We're going to build a detailed customer avatar, a profile of your ideal buyer so vivid, you'll feel like you know them personally. This is the key to making sure your message doesn't just get heard, but that it resonates deeply and compels action. So let's get tactical. Many businesses start with a vague idea of their customer. We sell to homeowners. Or our market is young professionals. That's like trying to hit a bullseye in a dark room by just shooting in the general direction of the target. A customer avatar, on the other hand, is like turning on a military-grade spotlight. It illuminates one person in vivid detail. This isn't just a marketing exercise. This is the foundational document for your entire business. Every decision, from the colors on your website to the words in your emails, to the very products you develop, will be filtered through the lens of this one person. Your avatar is not an average of your customers. It is the embodiment of your best customer. The one who buys, raves about your product, and comes back for more. We're going to give this person a name, a face, and a story. Because when you write for one person, you write for thousands. Specificity is the secret to scale. Let's break down the 4 key components you need to build this avatar. We'll call ours Eco-Conscious Emily. First, we have demographics. This is the basic top-level data. It's the skeleton of your avatar. It's important, but it's only the beginning. For Emily, let's say she's 32 years old. She lives in Portland, Oregon. She has a household income of around $95,000 a year. She's college-educated with a degree in environmental science, and she works as a project manager for a nonprofit. She's married with 1 young child, a 4-year-old son named Leo. See, already she feels more real than women 25 to 40. But demographics don't tell you why she buys. For that, we need the second and most critical component, psychographics. This is the soul of your avatar. It's about her lifestyle, her values, her interests, and her personality. This is where you go from knowing who she is to understanding how she thinks. What does Emily do on a Saturday? She's at the farmer's market, reusable tote bags in hand. What does she read? She follows blogs like Trash is for Tossers and has a subscription to a digital magazine about sustainable living. What podcasts are in her queue? Probably something on conscious capitalism or mindful parenting. Who does she follow on social media? Not just big celebrities, but micro-influencers in the zero-waste community. Her favorite brands are Patagonia for their activism and Allbirds for their sustainable materials. She values experiences over possessions, quality over quantity, and transparency over slick marketing. She drives a hybrid, drinks oat milk lattes, and her biggest frustration with online shopping is the excessive plastic packaging. This isn't just a collection of facts. It's a window into her worldview. It tells you what she cares about, which is the key to making her care about you. Third, we must define her pain points and frustrations, specifically as they relate to what you sell. This is the problem you exist to solve. We need to dig deeper than the surface. A surface-level pain point is, she wants eco-friendly products. A deep, emotional pain point is, Emily feels a constant, low-grade anxiety about the future of the planet for her son Leo. She feels guilty every time she throws away a plastic bottle. She's overwhelmed by greenwashing and doesn't know which brands to trust. She wants to make better choices, But she's also a busy working mom and doesn't have hours to research every single purchase. She's afraid that her small actions don't make a difference, but she's determined to try anyway. Do you feel the difference? The first one is a feature. The second one is a feeling. High-converting websites don't sell features. They sell the resolution of a feeling. They sell relief. They sell hope. They sell a solution to that deep, nagging problem that keeps your ideal customer up at night. Finally, the fourth component, her goals and aspirations. This is the flip side of her pain. If the pain is where she is now, the goal is her desired future state. This is the transformation she's seeking. Emily's goal isn't just to buy a reusable water bottle. Her goal is to feel like she's living in alignment with her values. She wants to feel proud of the home she's creating for her family. She wants to be a role model for her son, teaching him to be a conscious consumer. She aspires to a life that is simpler, more intentional, and has a smaller footprint. She wants to feel empowered, not helpless. Your product is the bridge. It's the vehicle that helps her get from the pain of her present reality to the aspiration of her desired future. Now let's put it all together. Imagine we're building an e-commerce site selling concentrated, plastic-free cleaning supplies. How does our detailed avatar of eco-conscious Emily change everything? Let's start with the headline on your homepage. A generic site might say, high-quality cleaning products. But we're not talking to a generic audience. We're talking to Emily. Our headline would be something like, clean your home, not the planet. Powerful, plant-based cleaners without the plastic waste. Instantly, we've spoken to her core value, sustainability, and addressed her primary pain point, plastic waste. Now think about your product descriptions. Instead of just listing ingredients, you tell a story. Tough on grime, gentle on the earth. Made with ethically sourced botanicals, so you can feel good about what's under your sink and around your family. We used the word family because we know she has Leo. We used ethically sourced because we know she values transparency. What about your website's imagery? No more sterile lab shots of your products. We'd use warm, authentic photos of a home that looks like Emily's. Maybe a shot of the cleaning spray on a kitchen counter next to a bowl of farmer's market lemons, with a child's drawing taped to the fridge in the background. Feels real. It feels like her life, but just a little bit better, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more aligned with her goals. Even your About Us page is transformed. It's not a corporate history. It's your founder's story, framed in a way that resonates with Emily. You talk about your own journey toward a low-waste lifestyle, the frustration with plastic that sparked the idea, and your commitment to a healthier planet for future generations. You're not just a faceless company. You're a fellow traveler on the same path. You're one of her people. This is how an avatar works. It transforms your website from a cold digital storefront into a warm, persuasive conversation with one specific person. Every word, every image, every design choice is made with Emily in mind. And when Emily lands on your site, she won't just feel like she's found a product. She'll feel understood. She'll feel like she's finally found a brand that gets her. And that feeling, that deep sense of connection and recognition, is the most powerful conversion tool on the planet. So your task is this. Before we move on, I want you to sit down and create your own customer avatar. Don't be vague. Be ridiculously specific. Give them a name. Find a stock photo that looks like them. Write down their demographics, their psychographics, their deepest pains, and their highest aspirations. Know them better than you know your competitors. Because once you know exactly who you're talking to, every other decision becomes 10 times easier. Once you have that person crystal clear in your mind, the next question is, what is the single most important thing you can say to them? How do you distill everything your brand stands for into one powerful, unforgettable sentence that sets you completely apart from the competition? That is the art of the unique value proposition, and it's the critical next piece of our high-converting puzzle. It's a brutal, unforgiving reality of the internet in the United States. You have 3 seconds. 3. That's the average time a new visitor gives your website before they decide to stay or hit the back button. In those 3 seconds before they even scroll, they have to answer the most important question in all of e-commerce. What's in it for me? If your site doesn't answer that question instantly, clearly, and compellingly, they are gone. Forever. That answer, that single sentence that can make or break your entire business, is your unique value proposition. Now let's clear up the biggest misconception right away. Your UVP is not a slogan. Nike's Just Do It is a slogan. It's brilliant, it's iconic, but it doesn't tell you what they sell or why you should buy it. A slogan is about brand feeling. A value proposition is about brand promise. It's the headline on your homepage, the subheadline in your ads, the core message that explains exactly who you help, what problem you solve, and why you're the only one they should trust to solve it. It's the single most important piece of copy you will ever write. So, how do we build one that actually converts? A truly magnetic UVP is made of 3 core elements. First, it has to be crystal clear about the outcome. It speaks directly to the result the customer gets. Second, it has to be specific. Vague promises like high-quality products or excellent customer service are completely useless. They're what we call table stakes. Customers already expect that. Your promise has to be concrete. And third, it has to be unique. It must articulate what makes you the only game in town. Let's look at a masterclass example outside of physical products for a second. Look at the payment processor Stripe. Their early UVP was legendary. The new standard in online payments. We help you build the best product in business with a relentless focus on simplicity and documentation. See what they did? They didn't say we process payments. They promised a better business and a simpler experience. They identified the pain point for developers, clunky, complicated payment systems, and promised the exact opposite. Clear outcome, specific promise, unique focus on simplicity. Or consider Trello, the project management tool. Their UVP. Trello lets you work more collaboratively and get more done. It doesn't list features. It doesn't talk about Kanban boards or cards. It speaks directly to the 2 things every team wants: better collaboration and higher productivity. The features are just the vehicle to deliver that promise. This is the fundamental shift you have to make. Stop thinking about what your product is and start obsessing over what it does for your customer. Nobody buys a drill because they want a drill. They buy a drill because they want a hole in the wall. You aren't selling coffee beans. You're selling the perfect morning ritual. You aren't selling skincare. You're selling confidence. Let's make this real. Imagine 2 online stores selling artisanal coffee beans, both targeting busy professionals in the US. Let's call them The Daily Grind and Aura Coffee. The Daily Grind's homepage banner screams, "Premium high-quality coffee beans." Okay, what does that even mean? Premium is subjective. High quality is expected. A visitor lands there, reads that, and thinks, okay, they sell coffee. So does Starbucks. So does Amazon. So do 1,000 other sites. There's no hook. No reason to stay. Bounce. Now let's visit Aura Coffee. The moment their site loads, the headline reads, "Never run out of your perfect morning brew again. Ethically sourced, small batch coffee, roasted and shipped within 48 hours." Let's break that down. Never run out. That speaks directly to a painful experience. We've all had that morning. It's an immediate, emotional connection. Ethically sourced, small batch. This qualifies the customer. It appeals to a specific person who cares about quality and sustainability. Starts building a tribe. Roasted and shipped within 48 hours. This is the knockout punch. It's a specific, concrete promise of freshness that Amazon can't match. It's their unique differentiator. Which store are you exploring further? Which one has already earned a little bit of your trust? The Daily Grind is selling a commodity. Aura Coffee is selling a solution, an experience, and a promise. That is the power of a world-class UVP. So right now, how do you craft yours? We're going to use a simple 3-step formula. I want you to grab a piece of paper or open a new document and actually do this. Step 1. Identify your customer's core problem. Be brutally specific. Don't say they need new shoes. Say they are runners who suffer from shin splints and can't find a shoe with enough cushioning that's also lightweight. Don't say they want a nice candle. Say they are new homeowners who want their space to feel sophisticated and welcoming, but are worried about toxic ingredients in most big brand candles. You have to understand the pain or the deep desire you are solving. Write that down. Who is it for and what is their real problem? Step 2. Translate your features into benefits and outcomes. Make a list of the top 3 things that make your product special. Is it your proprietary material? Your unique manufacturing process? Your sourcing? Your design? Now for each feature, answer the question. So what? You use 100% organic, long staple cotton. So what? So it's incredibly soft and durable, meaning your sheets feel like a luxury hotel and won't fall apart after a few washes. You developed a new type of waterproof zipper. So what? So your gear will keep you bone dry in a downpour, letting you stay on the trail longer. You have to build that bridge from what your product is to what the customer's life looks like after they buy it. List out those outcomes. Step 3. Define your differentiator and make a quantifiable promise. This is where you plant your flag. Look at your competitors. What do they all say? They probably all say high quality. Ignore it. What can you promise that they can't or won't? This is your only. Are you the only company that offers a lifetime guarantee? The only one that uses a specific rare ingredient? The only one that delivers in under an hour in major cities? Look at Aura Coffee. Their differentiator wasn't just fresh coffee. It was the quantifiable promise of roasted and shipped within 48 hours. That specificity makes it believable and powerful. Find your quantifiable promise. It could be a time frame, a percentage, a specific result. Write it down. Now you assemble the pieces. A great template to start with is, for your target customer who are struggling with this specific problem, our product name is a product category that provides the key outcome/benefit because we your unique differentiator. Let's try it for our candle company. For new homeowners who want a sophisticated, welcoming home without toxic chemicals, Hearth and Home candles are hand-poured soy candles that create a luxurious scent experience. Because we are the only brand to use a proprietary blend of essential oils with a 60-hour clean burn guarantee. It's a bit long, but all the raw material is there. Now you chisel it down. You polish it. You make it punchy for a headline. That might become your home elevated. Non-toxic soy candles with a 60-hour clean burn guarantee. The subheadline could be, experience luxurious, complex scents without the harmful chemicals. Hand-poured in the USA. Your UVP is a living thing. You'll test it. You'll refine it. But this process gives you a powerful customer-centric message that goes far beyond, we sell nice things. It becomes the foundation of your entire brand. It's the guiding star for your website's copy, your ad campaigns, your email marketing, everything. Because once you have this sentence, this powerful distilled promise of value, the next question becomes absolutely critical. How do you bring that promise to life the instant someone lands on your page? How do you use design, imagery, and layout to make them feel the truth of your value proposition before they even read another word? Crafting the perfect words is half the battle. Now we have to build the perfect stage. And that stage, the visual handshake with your customer, is where we go next. It's the first 50 milliseconds. That's all you get. 50 milliseconds, faster than you can blink, is how long it takes for a visitor to form a subconscious, gut-level opinion about your website. And in the hyper-competitive American market, that first impression isn't just important, it's everything. In that tiny sliver of time, before they've even processed a single word, your customer has already decided if you're trustworthy, if you're professional, and if you're worth their time. This isn't about art. This is about psychological warfare. And the weapons are color, space, and light. Let's start with color. Color is not a decorative choice. It's an emotional trigger. It's the fastest way to communicate a feeling without a single word. When you see the distinct blue of a Chase Bank logo or a Facebook page, your brain doesn't think blue. It feels trust, security, dependability. That's not an accident. That's a multi-billion-dollar decision. When you see the urgent, vibrant red used by Target or Coca-Cola, it's designed to create excitement, to raise your pulse, to signal action. For your brand, you must be a surgeon with your color palette. Stop thinking about your favorite color. Start thinking about the single dominant emotion you want your customer to feel. Are you selling organic, sustainable goods? Your palette needs to whisper nature and health with earthy greens, muted browns, and clean off-whites. Are you a high-tech gadget company? You need to scream innovation and precision with a palette of deep charcoals, stark whites, and a single electric accent color. A flash of blue or orange that says future. Luxury brands, they live in the world of black, gold, and silver. It's a universal code for premium, for exclusivity. The biggest mistake amateur brands make is what I call the confetti cannon approach. They use too many colors, creating a visual chaos that screams cheap and unprofessional. Choose 3 at most. A dominant primary color that sets the main mood, a secondary color that complements it, and one powerful accent color used sparingly for your most important buttons and calls to action, your add to cart or buy now buttons. This isn't about making it pretty. It's about guiding your customer's emotional state from curiosity to conversion. Next, let's talk about the voice of your website, typography, your fonts. If color is the mood, typography is the tone. It's the difference between a trusted professor and a frantic salesman. Broadly, you have two camps: serif and sans serif. Serif fonts, the ones with the little feet on the letters like Times New Roman or Garamond, have been around for centuries. They feel traditional, authoritative, and reliable. They build a sense of heritage and trust. Think of the New York Times. You'd use a serif font if you're selling handcrafted leather goods, bespoke suits, or anything that leans on a story of quality and timelessness. Then you have sans serif fonts, clean, modern, without the little feet. Fonts like Helvetica, Arial, or Montserrat. This is the native language of the digital age. They feel clean, straightforward, and accessible. It's the font of choice for virtually every successful tech startup and direct-to-consumer brand. It says, "We are modern, we are efficient, we are for you." Again, the amateur mistake is using 5 different fonts because they look cool. Don't. You are destroying your brand's credibility. Pick 2. One for your headlines, something bold that grabs attention, and one for your body text, something incredibly easy to read. Readability is king. If a customer has to squint or struggle to read your product description, you've already lost. They won't try harder, they'll just leave. Now let's move to the most underrated, yet most powerful element of design: the layout and the space between things. I'm talking about white space. Most people see it as empty space. World-class designers see it as the most important part of the page. White space isn't empty, it's breathing room. It's the visual equivalent of a calm, quiet, uncluttered luxury showroom. Cramming every inch of your page with text and images is like a noisy, chaotic flea market. It creates anxiety and a feeling of being cheap. Generous white space, on the other hand, creates focus. It draws the eye to what truly matters: your product, your value proposition, your add to cart button. It makes your brand feel premium, confident, and calm. But how do you arrange the elements within that space? You use the science of how people read online. For a Western audience that reads left to right, there are 2 dominant patterns of eye movement. The first is the F pattern. On a page with a lot of text like a blog post or a detailed About Us page, our eyes scan across the top, then jump down a bit and scan a shorter line across the middle, and finally they just scan down the left side. It forms a rough F shape. This means your most critical information must be in those first 2 horizontal scans. For most e-commerce homepages and landing pages, however, the Z pattern is more common. The user's eye moves from the top left, where your logo usually is, across to the top right, where the cart or login is. Then it darts diagonally down and across to the bottom left, before finally moving across to the bottom right, where your final call to action or footer often resides. Your job is to place your most compelling visual, your most powerful headline, and your primary call to action directly along this natural, invisible pathway. You are not fighting for their attention. You are placing your message exactly where their attention is already going. This is how you make a website feel intuitive. It just flows, because it's built for the human brain. Finally, the star of the show: your imagery, your product photography. Let me be blunt. If you are using blurry, poorly lit photos you took on your phone against a messy background, you should just stop right now. You are actively sabotaging your business. Your product photos are not just pictures. They are the substitute for the physical experience. Your customer cannot touch, feel, or hold your product. Your photos have to do all that work. You need crystal clear, high-resolution images from multiple angles. You need a close-up shot to show texture and quality. You need a lifestyle shot showing the product in use with a person who looks like your ideal customer, so the visitor can picture themselves using it and feeling the benefits. And you absolutely cannot use generic stock photos for your main brand imagery. American consumers have seen them all. A cheesy stock photo of smiling business people is an instant red flag that says, "We're not a real company." Invest in professional photography. It is not an expense. It is the single highest return investment you can make in your e-commerce store. And all of this, the colors, the fonts, the layout, the images, must be viewed through one critical lens: mobile. Your website is not a desktop site that has a mobile version. It is a mobile site, period. That's where the majority of your US customers are. You must design for the thumb first. This means large, easily tappable buttons, text that is readable without pinching and zooming, a simple, clean layout that doesn't require endless scrolling, images that load fast and look incredible on a small, high-resolution screen. If your mobile experience is a clunky afterthought, your business will become an afterthought. So we've set the stage. We've used color to set the mood, typography to establish the tone, a clean layout to guide the eye, and stunning imagery to create desire. We've built a beautiful, psychologically powerful showroom that builds trust in 50 milliseconds. But a beautiful showroom is useless if the product on the pedestal is presented poorly. Now that we've perfected the environment, we have to focus on the star of the show. We have to craft the perfect product page, the place where the final decision is made, where just browsing turns into just bought. And that's where the real money is made. The product page is your digital sales floor, your master closer, and your brand's moment of truth, all rolled into one. Get it wrong and all that hard work, the ads, the branding, the beautiful homepage, it all evaporates into a single silent click of the back button. Get it right and you build an engine that prints money while you sleep. This isn't about just listing features. This is about engineering a psychological experience. Let's break down the anatomy of a product page that doesn't just display a product, it sells it. First, and most importantly, the visuals. We are a visual species. Before a single word is read, your customer's brain has already made 1,000 microjudgments based on your images and videos. You cannot skimp here. Your product photos are not just pictures. They are a substitute for the customer's ability to touch, hold, and feel your product. You need more than just one clean shot on a white background. That's the bare minimum, the table stakes. We're playing to win. You need a suite of images. Start with the hero shot. That perfect, high-resolution, beautifully lit image that makes your product look like a work of art. Then add lifestyle shots. Show the product in its natural habitat. If you sell a durable backpack, show it on a mountain, not just in a studio. If you sell a sleek coffee mug, show it on a modern desk next to a laptop, steam gently rising. These images don't sell a product, they sell an outcome, an identity. The customer sees the person in the photo and thinks, that's who I want to be. Next, get close. Detail shots. Show the stitching, the texture of the material, the precision of the engraving. These shots scream quality and transparency. They build trust by showing you have nothing to hide. And finally, the modern king of conversion, video. A 15 to 30-second video demonstrating the product in use is worth 1,000 pictures. It can be an unboxing, a quick demo, or even a compilation of user-generated clips. It bridges the gap between the digital and the physical, answering questions and crushing doubts in a way static images never can. Once their eyes are convinced, they'll look for a title. Your product title is not a search term for your warehouse database. It's a headline. It's your one-sentence pitch. Instead of Model 7B water bottle, try the Hydrate insulated bottle. Ice-cold water for 24 hours, guaranteed. See the difference? One is a label, the other is a promise. It leads with the primary benefit. It tells the customer not what it is, but what it does for them. Directly below or beside your title, the price and the Add to Cart button must be bold, clear, and unapologetic. Don't make people hunt for the price. Be upfront. If you offer payment plans like Afterpay or Klarna, display those logos prominently right next to the price. For many American consumers, breaking a $100 purchase into 4 payments of $25 psychologically transforms it from a major decision into a casual buy. Now we get to the heart of the sale, the product description. This is where most websites fail catastrophically. They list features. 100% cotton. 5,000 milliamp hours battery. Stainless steel construction. This is lazy. It forces the customer to do the mental work of translating features into benefits. Your job is to do that work for them. You don't sell a cotton shirt. You sell unbelievable softness and all-day breathable comfort. You don't sell a 5,000 milliamp hours battery. You sell the freedom to go an entire weekend without ever thinking about a charger. You don't sell stainless steel. You sell a lifetime of rust-proof durability that looks as good in 10 years as it does today. Sell the vacation, not the airplane. Structure your description for the modern, scanning eye. Start with a compelling 2-sentence paragraph that hooks them in, telling a microstory about the problem your product solves. Then use 5 to 7 benefit-driven bullet points. These are your power punches. They should be easily scannable, punchy, and focused entirely on the customer's desired outcome. After the bullet points, you can add a bit more prose, perhaps telling the story of why the product was created or diving deeper into the craftsmanship. But always remember, features tell, benefits sell. At this point, the customer is interested, maybe even impressed. But they are also skeptical. They're thinking, this sounds great, but does it actually work? Can I trust this company? This is where you deploy the single most powerful conversion tool in e-commerce: social proof. Reviews are not optional. They are the foundation of trust. A product page with 0 reviews feels like an empty restaurant. It's an immediate red flag. You need to have a system in place to aggressively generate reviews from every customer. But don't just stop at a star rating. Encourage detailed written reviews. Feature the best, most descriptive ones at the top. And here's the pro-level strategy. Elevate your social proof. A text review is good. A review with a customer-submitted photo is 10 times better. It provides authentic, undeniable proof that a real person bought your product and loved it enough to take a picture with it. A video testimonial? That is the holy grail. A 30-second clip from a happy customer is more persuasive than any marketing copy you could ever write. Sprinkle this user-generated content, these real photos and videos, throughout your product page. It breaks up the professional, polished look with a dose of raw authenticity that modern consumers crave. The customer is now on the verge of buying. Their desire is high, and their trust is building. Now you have to make the final step as frictionless as possible. Your Add to Cart button needs to be the most obvious, unmissable thing on the page. Use a contrasting color that pops. The copy on the button matters too. Add to Cart is standard, but testing phrases like "Get mine now" or "I want this" can sometimes create a more personal, urgent connection. Surround that button with trust signals. These are your last-minute reassurances. Small icons for free shipping, easy returns, or a satisfaction guarantee can be the final nudge someone needs. If your product comes with a warranty, state it clearly. These elements work on a subconscious level, dismantling the buyer's perceived risk. You're telling them, hey, you have nothing to lose. Finally, you must proactively answer their last-minute, unspoken questions. Don't make them leave the page to find your shipping policy or return information. Have a small, concise FAQ section right on the product page. 3 to 5 common questions. When will my order ship? What's your return policy? Is this product compatible with X? Answering these questions right there, right then, keeps them in the buying environment and prevents them from getting distracted and abandoning their cart. Every single element on this page, from the resolution of your hero image to the wording of your return policy, is a soldier fighting for the same goal: conversion. It's a symphony of visuals, psychology, and trust building. When you stop thinking of it as a simple product listing and start treating it as your 24/7 master salesperson, you stop just getting clicks. You start getting customers. Now, once they've hit that glorious Add to Cart button, you might think the sale is in the bag. But you'd be wrong. The journey from the product page to the final thank you screen is a minefield of abandoned carts. We've brought the customer to the register, but now we have to make sure they actually pay. And that means designing a checkout process so smooth, so seamless it feels like an afterthought. The single greatest point of failure in any e-commerce business isn't the ad, the product page, or the email campaign. It's a handful of form fields and a single button on one page. The average cart abandonment rate hovers around 70%. 70. That means for every 10 customers who are so convinced by your brand that they add a product to their cart, 7 of them will leave without paying you a dime. They get to the 1-yard line and then turn around and walk out of the stadium. Why? The answer is almost always the same: friction. Every unnecessary click, every confusing question, every moment of hesitation you introduce into your checkout process is another reason for them to abandon ship. Our job is to eliminate that friction, to pave a digital highway from the cart to the confirmation page so fast and so smooth, the customer barely realizes they've completed the transaction. Let's start with the big debate: the one-page versus the multi-page checkout. For years, the conventional wisdom was that a one-page checkout was the holy grail. Everything on a single screen, less clicking, faster process. But the data tells a more nuanced story. A long, intimidating single page can feel overwhelming, like you're being handed a tax form. Multi-page checkouts, on the other hand, can feel more organized and less daunting, breaking the process into digestible steps: information, shipping, payment. The problem is, each new page load is another chance for the customer to get distracted or for the technology to fail. So what's the answer? The modern, high-converting solution is a hybrid. The one-page accordion-style checkout. It presents the entire process on a single page, but breaks it into clear, collapsible sections. The customer focuses on one thing at a time, filling in their shipping info, for example. Once that's done, the section collapses and the next one opens. It gives the psychological benefit of a structured, multi-step process without the friction of multiple page loads. It's the best of both worlds, and it's the standard you should aim for. Now let's talk about the 3 silent killers of checkout conversion. The first, and arguably the most egregious, is forcing account creation. You've seen it. You're ready to buy, you click checkout, and you're hit with the wall, register to continue. This is a conversion death sentence. In that moment, you're not a valued customer. You're a data point to be harvested. You're asking for a long-term commitment before the first date is even over. The solution is simple and non-negotiable. You must have a prominent, easily accessible guest checkout option. Let them buy. Get the sale. If you want them to create an account, the place to ask is on the thank you page, after their payment has been processed. You can frame it as a benefit. Create an account with one click to easily track your order and view your purchase history. By then, you already have their information, the hard part is over, and the value proposition is clear. Don't hold the sale hostage for a marketing sign-up. The second silent killer is the surprise attack of hidden fees. This is the #1 reason people abandon their carts in the United States. A customer has mentally agreed to pay $60 for a product. They go through your entire checkout process, enter their credit card number, and right before they click that final button, the total jumps to $74.50 because of shipping and taxes. Feels like a bait and switch. It breaks trust at the most critical moment. Transparency is your weapon here. Be upfront about costs as early as possible. Include a shipping calculator or a zip code estimator directly on the cart page. If you offer free shipping over a certain threshold, say $75, make it incredibly obvious. Use a dynamic bar in the cart that says, "You're only $16 away from free shipping." This not only avoids the negative surprise, but can actually increase your average order value. For taxes, which vary wildly from state to state, make sure your system calculates and displays them clearly on the shipping page, not just on the final payment review. No surprises, ever. The third killer is a cluttered, untrustworthy interface. The moment a customer enters the checkout flow, the entire experience needs to change. Your goal is to create a sealed tunnel that leads directly to a completed purchase. That means you strip away everything that isn't essential to that goal. Remove the main navigation menu. Get rid of the footer with its dozens of links. No pop-ups asking them to subscribe to your newsletter. No related products section. The only way out should be forward, by completing the purchase, or backward, by clicking a clear link to return to cart. Every field on your form needs to justify its existence. Are you asking for a phone number? Why? If it's for shipping notifications, state that clearly. Phone number for delivery updates. Use modern form design. Labels should be above the fields, not inside them. The form should automatically detect the credit card type, Visa, Amex, MasterCard, as the user types the number. It should use address autofill powered by Google Maps to reduce typing and errors. Every piece of information you ask for is another point of friction. If you don't absolutely need it to process the order, get rid of it. Now let's talk about how Americans actually pay for things online, because it's not just about credit cards anymore. You absolutely must offer a variety of payment options. Not doing so is like a grocery store only accepting cash. You're just turning away customers. The baseline is Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. But that's just the start. In the US, digital wallets are king. You need to have prominent options for PayPal, Apple Pay, and Google Pay. These services are conversion machines. They allow customers to pay with a single click or a fingerprint, importing their saved shipping and payment information without having to type a single thing. It's the ultimate friction reducer. Furthermore, you need to seriously consider offering buy now, pay later services like Afterpay, Klarna, or Affirm. These have exploded in popularity in the US market, especially with younger demographics and for higher-priced items. Integrating them can immediately lift your conversion rate, as it turns a $200 purchase into 4 interest-free payments of $50, a much lower psychological barrier for the buyer. Finally, throughout this entire sealed tunnel, you need to be constantly reinforcing trust. The customer is about to give you their hard-earned money and sensitive financial information. You need to make them feel safe. This is done through trust signals. Your checkout page must have a visible SSL certificate lock icon in the browser bar. You should display trust badges, like Norton Secured or McAfee Secure, near the payment section. Reiterate your value propositions in a simple, clean way. A small icon for free shipping, one for easy returns, and one for satisfaction guarantee. Provide a clear link to your return policy and a customer service phone number or email address. These elements work on a subconscious level. reassuring the customer that you are a legitimate, professional business that will stand behind its product. They might not click on them, but their presence alone reduces anxiety and makes it easier for them to click that final, all-important button. The one that says place order. The one that turns a browser into a customer. The one that gets you paid. But that is the single biggest mistake that new e-commerce entrepreneurs make. They think the sale is the finish line. They think that getting paid is the end of the journey. It's not. It's the starting gun for the next journey. It's the beginning of the relationship that will either make your brand a one-hit wonder or a legacy. The moment a customer clicks place order, they are at their absolute peak of emotional investment with you. They've just handed over their hard-earned money and their trust. And what do most websites do with this golden moment? They dump the customer on a generic, lifeless thank you page. Order confirmed. Your order number is 8675309. It's a dead end. It's the digital equivalent of a cashier taking your money, turning their back, and walking away without a word. You have just squandered the single most valuable piece of real estate in your entire sales funnel. That post-purchase thank you page and the sequence that follows it is where you stop being a simple transaction and start becoming a brand. It's where you transform a one-time buyer into a repeat customer, and a repeat customer into a raving fan who does your marketing for you. So let's rebuild that experience from the ground up. The second they complete their purchase, their brain is flooded with a mix of excitement and a nagging little voice of doubt called buyer's remorse. Your first job is to kill that voice. Instantly. The thank you page must first and foremost provide immediate and overwhelming reassurance. The order number should be big and bold. A summary of what they just bought should be crystal clear. And right at the top, a simple, powerful sentence. We've got it. A detailed confirmation has been sent to your email. This simple statement calms their nerves. It says, the transaction worked. We're on it. You can relax. Once you've provided that reassurance, you need to set expectations. This is non-negotiable for the US market, which has been trained by Amazon to expect near instant gratification. Ambiguity is your enemy. Be specific. Don't say your order will ship soon. Say, your order is now being processed by our team in Austin, Texas. You can expect it to ship within 1 to 2 business days. We'll send you another email with a tracking number the moment it leaves our hands. See the difference? One is a vague promise. The other is a clear, confident plan. It shows you're a professional operation. It gives them a timeline. It replaces their anxiety with anticipation. Now, with reassurance and expectations handled, the real magic begins. This page is your opportunity to deepen the connection. Instead of a dead end, make it a launch pad. What's one more action they could take right now, while they're still buzzing with excitement? You could ask them to share their new purchase on social media. Frame it not as a demand, but as an invitation to a club. Welcome to the family. Show your friends what you just snagged and tag us for a chance to be featured on our page. You could offer an immediate, exclusive, one-time only post-purchase upsell. Not for the same product, but for a perfect companion item. Wait! Since we're already packing your order, add our best-selling accessory for 30% off with no extra shipping cost. This offer is only available on this page. It's incredibly effective because the main buying decision is already made. This is a low-friction impulse add-on. Or even better, invite them into your community. A private Facebook group, a Discord server, a VIP text message list. Your journey with us is just beginning. Join our Insiders Club for exclusive content, early access to new drops, and connect with other people just like you. This transforms the transaction into a membership. It gives them a sense of belonging that goes far beyond the product itself. The goal of the thank you page is to give that customer a next step. Don't let that energy and excitement dissipate into thin air. Channel it. Next up is the order confirmation email. This is the second most open email you will ever send. People are desperate for it. They will open it, they will read it, and they will probably read it more than once. So for heaven's sake, don't let it be a plain text robotic receipt. Inject your brand's personality into it. The subject line should be clear. Your brand name order is confirmed. Number 12345. Inside, yes, you must include all the critical information. Order number, items purchased, shipping address, total cost. But that's the bare minimum. We're not building a minimum effort brand. Surround that information with value. Below the receipt, include a picture of the founder with a short, personal thank you note. Link to your best piece of content, a blog post or video on how to get the most out of the product they just bought. Remind them of your mission. Include links to your social media profiles. Add a link to your FAQ or help center. You are once again reassuring them that they made a smart choice by buying from a legitimate, helpful, and human brand. Now we enter the most perilous part of the customer journey: the waiting period. The time between when they give you their money and when they hold the product in their hands. In the US, this is where loyalty is won or lost. The Amazon effect is real. Consumers expect speed and, more importantly, visibility. The key to surviving this phase is obsessive communication. If you said it would ship in 1 to 2 business days, you better make sure you send a shipping confirmation email on day 1 or 2. That email is the single most anticipated, most open email in all of e-commerce. Missing this opportunity is a cardinal sin. The shipping confirmation email has one primary job: to provide a tracking number. But how you do it matters. Do not just paste a long string of numbers and tell them to go to the USPS or UPS website. That's lazy. Make the tracking number a big, beautiful, clickable button. Track your package. And here's the pro move. Don't link that button to the carrier's generic, ugly tracking page. Use a service like Aftership or Route to create a branded tracking page. When the customer clicks to see where their package is, they aren't sent to a third-party site. They are brought back into your world. The page has your logo, your colors, and your brand messaging. And while they're there, checking on their package's progress, what else do they see? Maybe a feed of your Instagram posts. Maybe a display of other popular products. Maybe a link to your latest blog post. You're taking a moment of high anxiety and anticipation and turning it into another positive brand touchpoint. You're keeping them in your ecosystem. Throughout this process, you are telling a story of competence, care, and excitement. Every email, every update is another chapter. And the final chapter of that story is the unboxing. This is your brand's physical debut. It's the moment all the digital promises become a tangible reality. For direct-to-consumer brands, this is your Super Bowl. It's your one and only chance to make a physical impression. And people have come to expect more than a product rattling around in a generic brown box. The unboxing experience itself has become a product. It's the reason unboxing videos are a massive genre on YouTube. It's free, user-generated marketing, but only if you give them something worth sharing. This doesn't mean you need to spend a fortune on custom-printed boxes with magnetic clasps, though if you can, it helps. It's about thoughtfulness. It's about showing you care. Use custom-branded tape. Wrap the product in tissue paper sealed with a sticker of your logo. Include a simple, high-quality card with a handwritten style font that says, "Thank you for your order. Customer's first name." That little bit of personalization goes a long, long way. Include a small, unexpected gift, a sticker, a sample of another product. These small details are what people photograph and post to their friends. They don't just say, "I got a new product." They say, "Look at the experience I just had with this awesome brand." You're not just shipping a product, you're delivering a feeling. You're delivering a story they can't wait to tell. From the thank you page to the confirmation emails to the branded tracking and finally the unboxing, you've created a seamless, reassuring, and exciting post-purchase journey. You've eliminated buyer's remorse and replaced it with brand loyalty. You've taken a simple transaction and turned it into the beginning of a powerful relationship. You've delivered the product, but the job still isn't done. Now you have to get them to come back and bring their friends. This is where the amateurs stop. They celebrate the sale, close the books, and immediately start spending money to find a brand new customer. The pros? They know the first sale isn't the finish line. It's the starting gun. The money you spent on ads, on content, on getting that first conversion, that was the most expensive money you'll ever spend. Acquiring a new customer can cost 5 to 25 times more than retaining an existing one. Let that sink in. The real profit, the kind that builds sustainable long-term wealth, isn't in the hunt for new customers. It's in the harvest of the ones you already have. What we're building now is the retention engine. It's the powerful, often invisible system that runs in the background, turning one-time buyers into repeat customers and repeat customers into passionate brand evangelists who do your marketing for you. This is the difference between a business that's constantly scrambling for its next meal and one that has a loyal, predictable, and ever-growing source of revenue. It all starts in that magical window of time right after they receive their order. The unboxing experience was perfect, the product is in their hands, and they're feeling that peak buyer's high. Most companies squander this moment. They either go completely silent, or they immediately bombard the customer with a generic, desperate, buy more stuff email. Both are colossal mistakes. You need to treat this like the second date. You've already made a great first impression. Now it's time to deepen the connection. Your first move is a carefully timed, personalized follow-up. Not a sales pitch. A conversation starter. A simple email or even an SMS that says something like, "Hey customer name. Just wanted to check in and see how you're loving your new product name. We were so excited to send it your way." It's warm. It's human. It shows you care about their experience, not just their wallet. This is your chance to solicit feedback, answer questions, and make them feel seen. Then, and only then, after you've reinforced that positive feeling, you can gently ask for a review. Frame it not as a favor to you, but as an invitation for them to join the community. If you love it, we'd be honored if you'd share your experience to help others discover it too. You're not begging. You're inviting them into the inner circle. This first touchpoint is the start of your post-purchase email and SMS flow, which is the absolute workhorse of your retention engine. But if all your emails are just about selling, people will tune out faster than a commercial break. The secret is the 80-20 rule. 80% of your communication should provide value. 20% can be for selling. If you sell high-end kitchen knives, send them an email with a guide to mastering 3 essential knife cuts. If you sell performance athletic wear, send them a 5-minute pre-workout stretching routine. You're not just a store. You're an expert, a trusted resource. You're embedding your brand into their lifestyle, so when they do need another product in your category, you're the only one they think of. And we can get so much smarter than just blasting the same email to everyone. This is where segmentation comes in, and it's a total game changer. Your email platform knows who bought what, when they bought it, and how much they spent. Use that data. Create different segments. You should have a new customer welcome series that nurtures first-time buyers. You should have a VIP segment for your top 10% of spenders who get exclusive early access to new products. You should have a replenishment reminder flow for customers who bought a consumable product, like coffee or skincare, that automatically messages them right when they're about to run out. You can even create segments for people who bought a specific product, and then cross-sell them a complimentary one. Someone bought the shampoo? A week later, send them an email about the matching conditioner, complete with testimonials from people who bought both. This isn't just marketing. It's customer service. It's anticipating their needs. It's moving from a generic megaphone to a personal one-on-one conversation. Now let's level up. While email is your workhorse, a world-class loyalty program is your supercharger. But forget the boring buy 10, get 1 free punch cards of the past. Today's loyalty programs are about status, community, and experience. It's about making your customers feel like insiders. Create a tiered system, bronze, silver, gold, or give it a cool on-brand name. The Navigators Guild, the Founders Circle. The specific names don't matter as much as the psychology. Humans are hardwired to want to level up. We love making progress. As customers spend more, they unlock new tiers with increasingly valuable perks. And the key is to make those perks more than just discounts. Discounts are temporary. Status feels permanent. What kind of perks? Free shipping for life. Early access to new product drops 24 hours before anyone else. Access to a private Facebook group or Discord server, where they can connect with other fans and your team. A surprise free gift on their birthday. A dedicated VIP customer service line. These are things that cost you very little but have a massive perceived value. They transform the transactional relationship of, I give you money, you give me a product, into an emotional connection. They're no longer just a customer. They're a member. They have a stake in your brand's success. And once you have that loyal, engaged member, you can unlock the final, most powerful stage of the retention engine, turning them into your personal marketing army. This is the referral program. You're tapping into the single most powerful form of marketing that exists. A recommendation from a trusted friend. The structure is classic and effective for a reason. Give a friend $20 off, get $20 for yourself. It's a win-win-win. The new customer gets a discount and a trusted recommendation. Your existing customer gets rewarded for their loyalty. And you get a new customer at a fraction of the cost of traditional advertising. But the secret isn't the offer. It's the execution. You have to make sharing unbelievably, frictionlessly easy. Put their unique referral link everywhere. In their account dashboard. In your post-purchase emails. Add a little button after they leave a 5-star review that says, "Love it? Share the love." When they click to share, have pre-written, compelling messages ready for email, text, and social media. So all they have to do is hit send. Don't make them think. Don't make them work. Celebrate their success. When a friend they referred makes a purchase, send them an instant excited email. Awesome news! Your friend Sarah just used your link. We've added $20 in credit to your account. You rock! You're reinforcing the behavior you want to see, turning them into a repeat advocate. This is the ecosystem. It's a flywheel. A great product and unboxing experience leads to a positive review. The follow-up email sequence provides value and builds trust. The loyalty program makes them feel like a VIP, encouraging them to spend more to unlock the next level. And the referral program empowers them to share their passion, which brings in new customers who then enter the exact same flywheel. Each part feeds the next, spinning faster and faster, generating more repeat purchases, more referrals, and more profit with less and less effort. You've stopped paying to rent traffic from Google and Facebook, and you've started to own your audience. You've built an asset. This is the moat around your castle. It's what protects you from competitors and market shifts. It's the engine that will quietly power your growth for years to come. You've built the machine. You've fueled it with happy, loyal customers. But how do you steer this thing? How do you know if it's working? How do you use data not just to see what happened yesterday, but to predict what's going to happen tomorrow? To make the million-dollar decisions that separate the good stores from the legendary ones. That's the final piece of the puzzle. It's the language your customers use to speak to you, without ever saying a word. It's the raw, unfiltered truth about what they love, what confuses them, and what makes them pull out their credit card. Your analytics dashboard isn't a report card of the past. It's a crystal ball for the future, and learning to read it is the single most valuable skill in e-commerce. Let's start with your toolkit. You need a brain and you need eyes. Your brain is Google Analytics 4. It's non-negotiable. It's the source of truth that tells you what is happening on your site, who is visiting, where they came from, and what they did. Your eyes are tools like Microsoft Clarity or Hotjar. These are revolutionary because they tell you why things are happening. They provide heat maps to show you where people are clicking, and more importantly, session recordings that let you literally watch over a user's shoulder as they navigate your site. The combination of the what from GA4 and the why from session recordings is where the magic happens. But having the tools is useless if you don't know what to look for. Forget drowning in a sea of 100 different metrics. In the US market, you need to be obsessed with a handful of what I call money metrics. First and foremost is your conversion rate. This is the pulse of your business. It's the percentage of visitors who take a desired action, usually making a purchase. You could have all the traffic in the world, but if your conversion rate is 0, you have a very popular, very expensive online museum. A typical conversion rate is around 1 to 3%. Your job, your obsession, is to nudge that number up 1/10% by 1/10%, because every single 1/10% increase is pure profit. Next is average order value, or AOV. This is the average dollar amount spent each time a customer places an order. It's infinitely easier to get a customer who's already decided to spend $50 with you to spend $60 than it is to find a brand new customer. This is where your upsells, cross-sells, and product bundling strategies come into play. Are you offering the batteries with the electronic toy? Are you suggesting the premium leather case with the new phone? Increasing your AOV is the fastest way to increase revenue without spending a single extra dollar on advertising. Then there's the long game metric, customer lifetime value, or CLV. This is the total amount of money a customer is expected to spend with your business over the entire lifetime of your relationship. This metric forces you to stop thinking about one-time transactions and start thinking about building relationships. A customer who buys a $20 item might seem insignificant, but if your post-purchase email sequence, your customer service, and your product quality are so good that they come back 5 more times over the next 2 years, their value skyrockets. High CLV is the hallmark of a powerful, resilient brand, not just a flash-in-the-pan dropshipping store. And finally, the silent killer, cart abandonment rate. This is the percentage of shoppers who add items to their cart, but leave without completing the purchase. The average is a staggering 70%. That's 7 out of every 10 people who were this close to giving you money, changing their mind at the last second. Your analytics will show you this number. Your job is to figure out why. Is it unexpected shipping costs? A clunky checkout process? A required account creation? Watching session recordings of users abandoning their carts is one of the most painful but illuminating things you can do. Every customer you win back from this digital graveyard is a massive victory. Now, knowing these numbers is just step one. The real growth comes from influencing them. This is the world of conversion rate optimization, or CRO. It's not about guesswork. It's about applying the scientific method to your website. You create a hypothesis, you run an experiment, and you measure the results. The most powerful tool in your CRO arsenal is the A/B test. It's beautifully simple. You show 50% of your visitors one version of a page, version A, and the other 50% a slightly different version, version B. Then you see which version leads to more conversions. Your hypothesis shouldn't be a wild guess. It should be based on the data you've gathered. Let's say you watch a dozen session recordings and you see people hesitating on your product page. They move their mouse over the Add to Cart button but don't click. They scroll up and down looking at the images again. Your heat map shows lots of clicks on the product images but not on the button. This is your clue. The data is speaking to you. Your hypothesis might be, I believe changing the Add to Cart button text from the generic Add to Cart to something more benefit-driven, like Get Your Perfect Sleep Tonight, will increase clicks because it reinforces the product's main promise right at the moment of decision. So you run the test. Version A has the old button. Version B has the new one. You let it run until you have a statistically significant result, meaning enough data to know the outcome wasn't just random chance. And maybe you find that version B increases conversions by 15%. That's a massive win. You just permanently increased your store's revenue by implementing a change that took 10 minutes. All because you listened to the data. This is the process. You don't change your whole website at once. You make small, incremental, data-informed changes. You test your headlines. You test your product descriptions. You test the color of your buttons. You test your product photos, a lifestyle shot versus a product on a white background. You test your pricing, $49.99 versus a flat $50. Each test is a lesson. Even the tests that fail teach you something valuable about your customer. This creates a growth flywheel. You gather data. That data gives you an insight. That insight leads to a hypothesis. That hypothesis becomes an A/B test. The winning test improves your website. Your improved website generates more and better data. And the cycle begins again, only this time it's spinning faster. Each successful test is another push on this giant heavy wheel. First, the progress feels slow. But soon, the momentum becomes unstoppable. Your conversion rate ticks up. Your AOV climbs. Your cart abandonment drops. And your business grows not by luck but by design. Through this entire process, you have to remember one crucial thing. Behind every click, every session, every conversion is a human being. A person with a problem, a desire, a need. The data isn't about manipulating people. It's about understanding them. It's about using technology to achieve empathy at scale. When you see users getting stuck on your checkout page, you're not just seeing a drop-off in a funnel. You're seeing human frustration. And your job is to fix it. To make their experience smoother, easier, and more enjoyable. When you do that, the sales follow. We've come to the end of this journey together. We started with nothing but an idea. We forged a brand identity, we found our perfect customer, and we built a digital home for them. We crafted product pages that sell, built trust with social proof, and streamlined our checkout to perfection. We've talked about the psychology of pricing, the power of email, and now the data that ties it all together. You have the complete blueprint. The architecture for a high-converting e-commerce machine tailored for the most competitive market on earth. But remember this, your website is never done. It is not a static brochure. It is a living, breathing organism that must constantly adapt and evolve. The market will change. Your customers' tastes will change. Your competitors will change. And you must be ready to change with them, guided always by the truth of your data. The tools have never been more accessible. The knowledge is now yours. You have the step-by-step plan to go from zero to a fully optimized, data-driven, customer-obsessed business. The only variable left in this entire equation is you. Go build it.